Does
Perfect.
that work?
Yeah, that's
Okay.
perfect. Okay. Thank you, by the way, for doing this. This is really kind of you. I really appreciate it.
Yeah. Yeah, I figured. I haven't had a fun podcasty conversation in a while, so
Cool. Looking forward to it. All right, let's
yeah.
get started here. Okay. Welcome to Ordinary Joe's Extraordinary Stories, the podcast that shines a light on ordinary people and their extraordinary stories. From small towns to big cities, we're sharing the real, raw, and inspiring moments that connect us all. Because every voice matters, every story counts. This is Ordinary Joe's Extraordinary Stories. Welcome back, Joes. It's another episode of Ordinary Joe's Extraordinary Stories, and I've got a really special guest today. This young lady is quite impressive, and we're going to hear all about what makes her impressive. This is Shiona, and I apologize in advance if I butcher your last name, but I'm going to say Deliozar.
Oh wow, that was perfect.
Okay,
Yes.
nailed it. Okay, so you are an economist, if I'm not mistaken.
I am, yes.
That's
I'm an economist, a heterodox economist.
okay. Before we get into that, because I do want to hear all about that, but let's talk about you and your background and where you're from and all that good stuff.
Yeah. So again, I'm Shiona Deliozar. So nice to meet you. You said my name perfectly. Both of
Thank
them,
you.
by the way.
Thank you.
Starbucks always butchers it up. I'm always like Shiona, Fiona, all of the above.
Yeah, yeah.
So originally I'm from Fiji. I was born there and I grew up there. And I moved to Kansas City over 8 years now. So I've been here in Kansas City,
Cool.
Missouri for a while. Moved to pursue higher education,
Oh, okay.
and I was always kind of drawn to economics. So I decided to go to a university here that's like pretty well known for the non-mainstream strand of economics. So
Oh,
that kind of drew me in. Got my bachelor's and master's at UMKC. So that's
oh,
University of Missouri, Kansas City.
cool.
And I'm currently doing my PhD. I am 90% done.
Wow.
And so fingers crossed, I have a couple more semesters to just um, finalize my dissertation and present it and everything.
That's so cool. You go, girl. I'm rooting for
Yeah.
that. That's awesome. Um,
And a little bit, so that's kind of like my academic background, but then I also have been really interested in kind of bringing these economic topics outside of the classroom and into the real world. So
wow.
I opened a business called Vogue Economics sometime last year. So it's been about a year. And so it started off as like an economic consulting company because I noticed a gap in the market. There's a lot of financial consulting
Sure.
companies, but there's nothing that gives economic consulting quite more centered around political economy and everything. So yeah, I just
Crazy.
founded that, working with a couple of my peers right now to
That's
grow
too
it.
cool. Um,
Yes.
I do, again, I want to get into that, but first I want to get a good understanding. So you moved sheerly to pursue academics out of Fiji to Kansas City.
So it wasn't quite straightforward like that. I
Okay.
always knew that I didn't want to remain in Fiji, and I was
Oh,
not, I was part of the majority. I
no
mean,
kidding.
growing, being on an island for a vacation is amazing. It's excellent, 10 out of 10. But living there and then being like a young adult trying to pursue, growth and opportunity and income potential and stuff like that, that's pretty stagnated.
Wow.
So in my early 20s, I kind of just made the move to pursue other countries. So Fiji is really close to Australia and New Zealand,
That's so
but
awesome.
I guess like we had a little bit of like political conflict with them as far as just trade goes. So then around the time that I wanted to like go to college and everything, they had closed that window for getting student visas and stuff like that. So it was a little difficult to go there, especially when you're kind of like penniless.
Oh, yeah. I hear
But
that.
yeah,
That's
but US
wild.
had plenty of opportunities. At first, I was considering um, starting off in California, but then I had some contacts in Kansas City, so I just kind of
That's crazy. That's
found my way here.
It's wild how people just find their places to the most, or find their way to the most like small, off the beaten path places in the US.
Mhm.
Being from New Mexico, I see it a lot. We get people here from all over the world, and I'm like, why here? This is the like least interesting place. Like culturally, we have so much to explore, which is really cool.
Yeah,
And the weather is beautiful here, so I mean, you can't.
I bet.
I get that there's some appeal to it. It just doesn't make sense in my head when there's all these other really cool places in the US. Um,
It is, but then like my perspective was when I came to Kansas City, at least I was like, "Whoa, this is a major city," because it had like 500,000 in population with all
okay.
these like nice buildings, and then Fiji's entire population is like 800 or 900
Wow.
something thousand.
Wow.
And so a major town to us over there is like 40, 50,000 people.
Okay. Fair enough. I live that life in New Mexico, so I understand completely.
Yeah.
I think our total population for the state is 2 million people, 2 million people, but we have like we're one of the I don't know. I think we're the one of the top 10 largest states as far as acreage goes, which is wild. It's just everything
Nice.
here is just so spread out. Um,
Yeah. So
and
you must not have too much traffic issues, at
oh no,
least.
no, no, no! Traffic
You
is a
do?
nightmare here. Um,
Okay.
and that's just because the major cities are so concentrated. You know what I mean? Like
Mm-hmm.
the smaller towns, yeah, there's people that live there, but everybody works in the bigger cities, so traffic is always a headache. I mean, I can't compare it to anything like we were in Atlanta recently, and yeah, that's some traffic, and LA traffic I've been in, and yeah, that it's not anything compared to that, but it is not pleasant. We'll just say that.
Oh, yeah.
Um,
Not a fan of traffic.
no, who is? So tell me about. Wow, Fiji, so it's close to Australia and New Zealand, so I assume you've been to both of those places?
I have. I love it, but they're two very different countries, just geological wise and even culture wise.
Um, what's the I don't know how to ask this. What is, like, the exchange rate as far as money goes from Fiji to the US? Is there, like, a big difference? Was it very difficult
That's
to move
an
here?
that's an easy question because it's exactly half. So
Oh, geez.
basically, yeah. So if you have a dollar Fijian, it's going to be 50 cents US.
Wow,
And so it's kind of annoying, but just being in Fiji and traveling, we're kind of used to it.
wow.
It's
So
like, okay, whatever.
so did that make it difficult to move here?
Yes, yes, it definitely did because my parents were probably just barely middle class. And so I had next to no parental support really.
Oh, wow.
And so, yeah, I just kind of had to like figure my way out. And, but the good thing is that I also knew a couple of good people here who kind of guided me
That's
through
cool.
all the ways and things and just like how to go about applying for certain things. So that was nice.
That's
That
really
was
cool.
nice to have that kind of support.
Absolutely, and with your extensive travel, like I said, I don't do any research on my guests, but I did see like at the top of your Instagram, you have all the different places you've been,
Uh,
and
yes.
that's cool. So I assume with your extensive travel, you probably have connections in all kinds of places all over the world, which
Yeah,
I'm sure that's super helpful should you ever decide that, you'd want to get out of Kansas City and go explore some other place for a few years or whatever.
for
That
sure.
that's really cool. Okay, so let's talk about travel for a minute. How
Yes.
how many countries have you been to? Is what you have on your Instagram the only places you've been, or is there more?
I've been to a couple of places probably prior to when I was posting on Instagram
Okay.
because I right now my main account has transferred into because I was really into like the fashion community and stuff like that, but then that's dwindled down, and so now it's just like a photo dump diary for
Oh,
me.
that's cool.
It's like okay, these things are taking too much space on my phone, so it goes to live on Instagram.
That's my life. Tell me about it.
Yeah, and I mean, when you post things like that, carousel posts, you just know you're not going to grow on Instagram. But I'm fine with that. I like my economics page right now, Vogue Economics, so then I'm trying to do more educational content on there. But to answer your question, I think as of now I visited 20-ish countries.
Oh, that's
Probably have to
awesome.
like count down in my head, But there's definitely more coming this year. I have a couple of trips that I was lucky enough to have booked kind of 3 or 4 months ago before the whole US Israel war situation on Iran that knocked up fuel prices, energy prices.
Right.
So cannot even imagine what those ticket prices would be right now.
That's horrible. And I will say we have a trip. My wife and I have a trip planned later this year.
Oh,
Well,
where to?
we're going to Italy. We're flying
Very nice.
to Rome. We're going to spend 4 days just land hopping all over Italy, and then
Yeah.
we jump on a Virgin cruise ship, and we have a 10-day cruise that goes, coastal
Yeah.
Italy, coastal France, and then the islands in between.
Oh, that sounds
It
amazing.
is so fun. If you've never been, have you ever been on a cruise?
I have been on a cruise, and I will say that the how much I weighed before I got on that cruise ship was significantly less than when it was done. The buffet was open 20 hours a day, every day.
That's so wild. What cruise did you go on?
I think we went on, so my husband and I, we went on MSC cruise. That was recommended to
Oh,
us
cool.
by some of our friends, our friends who said that like that's probably the best cruise to do if you want to get off different ports.
Sure.
So yeah,
That's
it
cool.
was a really nice experience.
Well, from our experience, I can highly recommend Virgin Voyages.
Okay,
There's everything on the ship is free first and foremost. It's all included in your room package. So even the
really?
fancy restaurants on board are all included.
Mm. Yeah.
Um, the staff is incredibly knowledgeable because my wife and I are vegetarian. Um,
Mm.
so they always ask about allergies or special diets, and they know exactly what makes a food vegetarian versus
They're
vegan or
just
not at all.
so they're just so insanely nice. It's like being
Yes,
on a cruise ship is like a complete utopia.
it really is.
Everybody's just they put on shows and performances too.
Yeah, like literally and figuratively. It's
Yeah,
wild.
I know.
Um, but also we're dog parents. We never wanted kids, so we never went that route. And those cruise
That's
ships,
us.
oh, that's awesome.
Yes. What do they call it? Dinkwads, right? Double
Yes,
income, no kids
absolutely.
with
With all the
with
dogs.
pets.
Yeah.
Yes.
We actually have 6 dogs right now.
Oh wow.
Yeah, we dig and rescue. But so that's another thing about the cruises is there's nobody allowed on the ship under 18. So
Ooh.
So
Like yeah, that is
you
pretty
go to all
special.
these stops and you get off and it's very weird because you get off the ship and you see kids screaming and running around and you're like, "Oh, this is
And you're like,
crazy. I want to
yes,
go back
that's
to the
not
ship.
us.
I'm, Get me back on the ship. I forgot that they existed. I want to go back." It's wild. But yeah,
Yes.
I would highly recommend it. By the way, you and your husband are really
Okay.
cute in all your pictures. You,
Oh, thank
you
you.
guys are
I will pass that along.
you're very photogenic. um so we recently last year November we were in Japan and I saw your guys' pictures. What I'm assuming is Kyoto.
Yes, we yeah, we did like a multi-city thing.
Yeah, so do we.
It was yeah,
Where
yes.
all did you go?
So we did the three big cities, Kyoto, and then well, we were in Nara Park as well.
Oh, cool.
And then we took the train, the Shinkansen to Tokyo, and
Uh-huh.
then we were also, did all of Tokyo. Oh no, before we went to Tokyo, we were in Osaka as well, of course.
That is so
Yeah.
wild. You did our trip, but in reverse.
Yes.
We
A
started in
really
Tokyo, went down to Osaka, and then we went to um where the bomb was dropped. Sorry, Hiroshima.
Oh yeah,
And
yeah.
then from Hiroshima we went to Kyoto, and that was
I know
our
it's
one
so
week.
convenient to get around
Oh,
their whole
so convenient and
country.
so beautiful. Everything is so clean. And I mean, I'll
Hmm.
say Osaka for me was a little bit closer to a US city where it was, what you would expect to see in a city that size. But Tokyo was like, why is it so clean here? I don't get this. But
Hmm.
really cool. I loved it. I had a blast. Um, Out of your travels, what was your favorite place to go so far?
So I guess probably like a year ago, I would have said New York City, just like
No
be
kidding.
basic and say New York City. I love it. You just cannot find that type of melting hot pot that New York City is.
That's cool.
Just simply because like you walk around trying to take a subway and then you will hear 10 different conversations and eight of them are in languages that you cannot distinguish.
That's awesome.
And yeah, it's just like I feel like if you are looking for a certain ethnic food or anything, you will find it in New York City, like
Wow,
guaranteed.
that's
So
crazy. I
I try
expected
to
you
go
to.
every year,
Oh, that's awesome. I half
but it's
expected.
number two.
That's number two.
Yes,
What's your
it's
number one?
number two. Nobody will be able to guess this. So it's Busan in South Korea.
Oh,
Like I completely fell in love with Busan. Like it was insane. It's so underrated. You don't really hear people going to Busan, and when you do go there, there's just their tourists are made up of like their locals. So it will be the South Koreans who travel from Seoul to Busan, but you will not really see other races over there because I think they all go to either Seoul or they'll
sure,
just fly to Japan.
sure.
But it's so beautiful and really natural, but then you still feel like you're in a major city. Like it's not the kind where you have all the beautiful beaches and the mountains and the scenery, but you're in a rural place. It's still very city like. They have a nice train system. I think their population is like 2.3 million or something, so a really major city.
Okay, that's awesome.
Yeah.
I love that.
Mhm.
We're
And the
big.
hotels, like the really fancy hotels, were like $60 a night.
Holy
Like it
crap!
will be beachfront. It blew my mind.
Wow.
Like my hotel there, they had a bathtub on the balcony, and I just couldn't wrap my head around. It. I was like, these prices must be a lie.
What is wrong with this place?
Yeah.
um, you you went to Egypt too, didn't you? Or am I mistaken?
Yes.
You did.
Yes, we did. We went to Egypt.
Where
Yes.
where does that fall on your list?
So Egypt, I don't even know how I would rank that. Because I went in with very little research, to be honest. I
Oh,
was
okay.
like, let's see where this journey takes me.
Wow.
When I first started really traveling, I would go extensively and research each day, my itineraries, like,
Yeah,
fully
yeah.
packed and stuff like that. And then, like, when I went to a couple of different countries, I was like, no, I cannot travel like this. It's stressful.
Wow. That's
So
crazy.
Egypt was one of those where I'm like, what, I'm gonna take it by the ear. And I one of the people who made my trip was my tour guide slash friend now. Dina, she really took us to the spots that like we wouldn't have seen or I wouldn't have been able to like Google and TripAdvisor and find. And so I just feel like when I came back from Egypt, I feel like I had a bunch of friends
That's
in
cool.
that country.
Same.
So if I go back, it will definitely be to like go and reconnect with them again.
That's awesome. Did you do all the big like historical
Oh
stuff?
yeah.
Okay.
We got on the camels, which they stink by the way. Yeah, and we went to of course the pyramids. We saw the mummies as well.
Mhm.
We went to the Grand Egyptian Museum, which we're really lucky because they had just built it, so they had their soft opening after a decade of
Right.
waiting, I
Right.
guess. We went to Alexandria as well, which is
Mhm.
something that people recommend. But I mean, of course, it's like that's when you will feel like, I mean, it gives you the whole this is a third world country. So
Oh, for
you kind of
sure.
go in there, yeah, like, go in there not expecting to be all influencer y, of course. Right? You have to respect the people. You cannot, I hate poverty porn, to be honest, of people just sticking
Oh
their
my god.
cameras in people's faces like, yeah, you must be living on this trash. Like it's terrible,
Did you
So
say poverty porn? That's wild.
yes,
I've never heard
people
that
do that.
term, but
People bring
it's
their expensive GoPro
yeah,
cameras and they're like, hey, like they will ask them stuff, or they will
that's
hand them
wild.
American candy, like, have you ever had chocolate? And then of course the people are gonna be intrigued and gather around you, right? And then they'll go and make money off their YouTube videos.
That's wild. I never heard the term, but it's so accurate. So we went. That was my first international trip, as a matter of fact, to Egypt. We went
Oh,
in
nice.
2023, and yeah, we did all the big cultural sites. That was the main point of the trip. And yeah, we walked away with a bunch of friends. But it's funny that you brought up the influencer because that was like our biggest pet, like the biggest put off about Egypt was the people stopping, in the middle of these historical sites, and you're trying to like see everything, but they're stopping and waiting till everybody clears the area to get that Instagram shot,
Mhm.
and you're like, come on, this is like so disrespectful. There's like 1,000 people here waiting in line just to
Yeah.
get through this little hallway, and you're blocking it for a picture.
Yeah.
Not okay.
Yeah.
Wild.
Exactly. I think I encountered that for sure. Where the king's chamber is inside the pyramid. So we went through the
Yeah.
robbers tunnel and everything,
Yep.
and everybody was just like ready to go because they were like, "Oh, at the end, that's gonna be the king's chamber." And then when you go through that really uncomfortable,
Oh yeah.
narrow, hot tunnel, you end up in something that's just like obviously a letdown. It's like
Right. It's just a
dark
room.
room.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just a room with like his little coffin. Of course, nothing's there, and then you just have people just standing there,
Yeah. Like,
like taking pictures.
well, and then not to mention the people who are like, I don't want to say grifter, the people who are trying to earn a dollar in there and are like, hey, let me take a picture for you. And
Oh, I
you
know.
make the mistake of giving them your phone or camera and you ain't getting it back until you give them money. So like, don't do that.
Uh-huh.
But
Absolutely.
to be fair, the Egyptian people are wonderful, and never once while we were there did I feel safe. And I know that's a big thing that people like say that they don't want to ever go there because it's so unsafe. And that's just not true at all.
And
Uh,
just like have some like smartness about you, right?
for sure,
Just don't go anywhere where the locals are not gonna go
for
to.
sure, yeah,
And don't walk around alone. And so I just feel like sometimes people who go from the Western countries to these places, they go in with all the privilege. They'll walk
yeah,
in at 3 a.m. in an alley that no local goes to
right,
themselves.
yeah, and then wonder
So
why
wearing a
things are a
nice
little,
Rolex.
yeah,
Like,
yeah,
sir.
kind of asking for it. Sorry.
Yeah.
um, so our other trip that we took last year was to Greece. We went on a that was our first Virgin cruise. So we went
Ooh.
Greece, Turkey, Croatia, and Montenegro,
So
and
you guys travel quite a bit too to all these exotic
it
destinations.
was phenomenal. Well, that one just happened to be part of the itinerary for that cruise. So,
Oh
and
my
we,
gosh, I need to take notes because
yeah.
I might need to go on that exact route.
Oh, I'm telling you, it was phenomenal. Like those countries are all so amazing. We went to Ephesus in Turkey, and I had low expectations and was blown away. It was amazing. We went to
Yeah.
the home of the Virgin Mary, or the Mother Mary as they call her, which was, I'm not at all religious, but holy crap, that was really cool. It was really cool. Um, we went to in Dubrovnik in Croatia. I've never watched what's the show, the dragons and whatnot.
Oh, Game of Thrones?
Game of Thrones. Never seen it, but that's where it was filmed, and
Oh yeah, King's Landing. That is on my bucket list
it
to
was
see.
beautiful. We went and kayaked out, like took a little kayak tour on the water there, and outside of the city, and went
Oh,
swimming
wow.
there. It was so much fun. Um, so yeah, have you been to Greece?
I have not. I have not been to Greece, but it's on my bucket list. I want to go visit a friend who lives in Cyprus, and then once I'm
Cool.
there, I want to go check out Greece.
Greece is amazing. We went all over. We stayed in Athens for a few days, and we went and checked out like the Thermopylae, and we went to Delphi, and all of the cool places in Greece. And I loved it
Hmm.
there. It was beautiful. There's a real misconception about the way it looks when you get there. There's graffiti everywhere, but
Yeah.
it's not like I don't know what some people would say South Central LA where it's gang graffiti. This is political graffiti. It's our tour
The
guide.
resistance.
Yeah, one of our tour guides was saying this is like an anarchist kind of graffiti against the corrupt
Nice.
government, and I was like, okay, well, I can get on board with that. I'm cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I heard Italy's kind of like that too, very
Oh, no
gangsta
kidding.
when it comes to that.
No
Hmm.
kidding. Okay, well,
I wonder if you might see a little bit of that.
I'll have to update you on that.
Yes.
Okay, cool. Where else do you have planned coming up for travel?
Um, yeah, so my next destination will be Paris.
Oh,
So
cool.
I'm really looking forward to that,
Cool.
and possibly, taking the train into a couple of other nice countryside towns. And then after that will be Barcelona, so
Nice.
Spain.
Nice.
I know.
Yeah.
Excited about that. They hate tourists, so we'll see how that goes.
Right. You just kind of got to blend in, and I think you all have no
Yeah,
problem doing so.
I
So
look very Spanish.
you do. And your last name sounds Spanish, so
Hey, there we go. Yeah.
you'd be like, no, 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 I'm from here. Don't worry. Okay, so let's get into your education. What pulled you in the direction of economics? which that's like so mind-boggling. That would have never crossed my mind as a young man.
Yeah. So funny thing is that in Fiji, economics is part of the high school curriculum.
Oh my gosh.
So I mean, I
That's
always
amazing.
loved it.
That's amazing.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I,
I 100% think that it should be compulsory
for
in
sure.
other countries as
For
well,
sure.
especially just because like there's just so much, not even just economics, but like some degree of like financial literacy classes.
Sure.
And so accounting and economics was were the two subjects that were compulsory for like at least 3 out of 5 years of high school.
God, that's
In
amazing.
Fiji, we have 5 years of high school. So yeah, kind of had that interest. I was interested in a couple of other things, but I went in kind of undeclared. Really, I wasn't even sure what I wanted to do, but
Okay.
it was on my list of a couple of things. And so the university that I started off in wasn't the first one that wasn't my first pick. I was actually enrolled in the Kansas side. So there's a Kansas University, KU. It's really big over here. Um, I was going to enroll in some random program over there, but then something told me like, no, let's not move to Kansas. So then I started looking at things on the Missouri side, and this is where it kind of stood up.
That's cool.
And yeah, I don't really have like a nice big answer that's like very social justice oriented, like a lot of people do. Like, well, I want to make big changes to the world, social work and everything. But it just kind of happened. I kind of fell into it.
Okay. But I'm assuming you have to have, there's got to be some sort of a certain type of brain that can comprehend economics and be interested enough to not like drop out halfway through. For
It
somebody,
does.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead. What were you
I
saying?
was just gonna say, for somebody who doesn't know anything about economics, can you break down the basics for me?
Yeah. So economics at the end of the day, I feel like it has a combination of both the liberal arts and sciences. So then you have all of your theoretical work and then just have these concepts and stuff that you always hear about to explain these very specific economic phenomena. I mean, supply and demand. Like
Okay.
that's what immediately anybody says when you think about prices in any shape and form. And then you hear about inflation and those numbers. So I guess one part of my interest in economics was, hey, we are always talking about these things, but we don't really understand it on paper. These are reported to us in the media, but nobody really has a good understanding of it. And so there's a lot of interpretation that goes on when we're talking about these subject matters. And we don't have access to experts who really break it down. Like, really, the media and the journalists are the ones giving us a very shallow, surface level understanding of these key things. And then there's that other layer of more scientific element of economics that comes in that most students doing the bachelor's in economics doesn't really encounter. You kind of have to go to a graduate level to get to the more sciencey elements of um, econometrics, which is kind of like a blend of quantitative economics, qualitative and quantitative research blended with statistics, right? Like those are going to be the core courses that you have to do to really fully understand those theoretical concepts, the certain frameworks that come in with that blend of economics.
That is
So
wild. Like
yeah.
half of what you just said went way over my head. It's so good though. That's so impressive.
That's how I would present it to someone who's a newcomer.
That's
Like,
cool.
of course, like the people who have majored in economics in their first 4 years of their undergrad degree are only looking at it with a very surface level
Okay.
understanding of it. If you really want to get technical, get your go sign up into a graduate degree program.
Okay. Now, how does what you do apply to modern day, just society, and what can you do with that degree? Especially going to be a doctor of economics.
Yeah,
How is that going to help
great
you?
question. Great question. So that is a question that all of my peers all of my coworkers and all of my advisors, instructors are asking me and us as extensions, all PhD students, just because when you get to the level of PhD, you are faced with the question of, do you want to be in academia or do you want to take it to some other like completely different roadway or pathway? And I think I fall in the latter far as I'm not really interested in using my background in economics and just sticking in a campus or a classroom. I've seen my professors do it and I have a lot of respect for how they're passing on the knowledge and
Oh,
things like that.
100%.
But it just feels kind of stuffy. Like I don't want to regurgitate things in textbooks to students. And then the whole mode of knowledge transfer has changed so much. Students aren't even engaged in the same way that they used to be.
Sure.
And so, not interested in that. The tenured positions are no longer as appealing as well. A lot of my professors right now, they have been so overworked to the point that they're not even able to teach properly. They have graduate teaching assistants to be able to do a lot of the
That's
teaching because
wild.
yeah, they make the tenured professors, they as in the universities, do a bunch of research work. So the universities can keep getting these grants. And so a lot of times professors have two jobs. One teaching classes, all the obligations with the new semester, and then their own research work, which they have to continually be an active researcher. And so I'm not a big fan of that type of
Sure.
lifestyle.
Sure.
So that's why I kind of started my own business with economic consulting and just trying to speak about all the economic and political phenomenon that's going on. Reach out to as many people as possible. I think we encountered each other on threads.
Correct.
So that's kind of like one of the places that I'm really using my voice, not
That's
just as an
awesome.
economist, but also just like what I'm interested in politically as well.
Yep. Love it. I was quite impressed with Threads. I had my account forever and never used it, and I wasn't big on uh, Twitter, or I guess X, whatever you call it. I
Yeah,
think
I know. I
I
think I created an account a decade ago and
yeah.
then barely used it.
So I tinkered with it for a little bit, but I was just like, no, this isn't my thing. And then recently, I was like, you know what? Like, this is another social media. This is another way for me to get my podcast out there. So I might as well be using it since I have the account. Um,
Yeah.
Went on there and then kind of spent a day seeing how people interact with each other and seeing how you can tell the algorithm what to do for you and like actually put it to work for you. And I was like really impressed with that at the end of the day. And I was like, this is perfect. So then
It has transformed, I feel like, from even Threads has transformed quite a bit from what it was like a year ago, which was nice because I had way less followers and engagement, but then they were paying people to post. And so
oh, no
I was
kidding.
making money monthly and it
No
was such a
kidding.
nice 6 months. Yeah.
Wow.
And then minute it got the volume it needed of
They
people
stopped all that.
joining it, they stopped all of it.
Supply and demand.
I know.
That's wild. Um, so you've got a big presence on all of those platforms. Is that part of your real world economic development, or is that more of a? I know you said Instagram is sort of a photo dump place for you, but do you use any of the other platforms for you
Yeah,
know
so I still like use my voice on my main Instagram, but then I try to keep it centered to my business page.
It's really
But
smart.
I'm yeah, and a lot of my clients that I've met, whether they were people running for office, or just people who are more aligned with understanding market insights. I've actually met through Instagram or Threads, so it's been
Cool.
really cool. I don't do any advertising or marketing for my business aside from just talking
Good.
and like, just social media and just my presence there. And I think that's just like how the world has transformed now. Like you
Yeah.
don't really need to email people or send out flyers or have billboards or have an ad on TV type of thing. It's just so very different.
Do people even watch TV anymore? Like, is that a thing?
Right.
With all the streaming services out there? Like, that
What's
doesn't
a
seem like it's,
TV? What's
yeah.
like, yeah.
Everybody's glued to their phone anyway, so might as well take advantage of that. Um,
Exactly. I don't even remember the last time I clicked on a channel on my TV. It's always
for real,
streaming it.
for real. Um, so tell me about your business and how that applies to real world, uh, things. How do you meet the people? What do you do for them as far as advising and whatnot? And how does that gain you a monetary return?
Yeah, so economic consulting, I know that's pretty abstract, but I keep it abstract intentionally just because I don't want to niche down and then people, will easily dismiss the service like, oh, it doesn't really apply to me. But it ranges from, of course, people's needs. And I have a background in applied economics, which a big part of applied economics is you try to bring whatever existing theories and concepts into the real world and help it shape the environment that we're in to see a better picture. So a lot of what like my business's aim is to kind of sell as a concept is understanding the market that we're in also has to do with forecasting and predicting trends. So it also comes down to identifying what's happening too. And so sometimes people are in the business of sometimes expanding their business, for example.
Okay,
So if they want to expand their business, they kind of want to have a little more insight on like maybe their local economy, but sometimes on like a more national level as well. So that's where we come in. And I have a couple of colleagues as well who are my peers too, who are there to provide the support for additional research.
that's too cool.
And we just kind of, yeah, we kind of give them more economic insight. That's There's disclosures, of course, like these are only going to be insights. These are not exactly what we recommend you go and do,
Sure.
because then of course I don't want to be responsible
Right,
if
liability.
something, yeah, for liability reasons. And I've worked in places where we just ironclad with disclaimers whenever we make any type of recommendations to
Sure.
people from both legal and compliance standpoint. So yeah, so that's I guess one part of it, but then I'm also really loving the political scene, especially since 2026 is like midterm season. So
Yes.
I've been in conversation with a lot of candidates who are running for Congress, and it's just really nice to see their campaigns taking shape. And then I'm also available as like an economic policy advisor too, to really understand their districts, like what how do you define their district, how do you almost get your goals as like a politician that you're running, and how do you put that together in a way that actually catches people's interest so that can
Oh,
translate from interest to votes.
wow, that's cool. So,
One of my favorite economists, who's actually an alumni at UMKC, Stephanie Kelton. So she was the economic policy advisor for Bernie Sanders. So
oh,
I love
awesome.
her. I love her work. So
Absolutely.
she's kind of an inspo for me in that regard.
That's so awesome. So you could potentially be up there as far as politics go in the next, if midterms go the way that the majority of us are hoping it goes. You could
Fingers
be up
crossed.
there. You could actually, somebody could just be like, you know what, I need you full time. I'm gonna drag you out of what you're doing, and you can have your
I
business, but
know.
I need you.
I've had a couple of requests for that, but then I just feel like I have to complete my PhD journey before I'm able
That's
to
understandable.
step into any big roles. And I'm also currently writing a book, so it's
Wow,
just like kind of layered right now as far as my 2026 outlook
that's
is going.
cool. That's really cool. Um, so I think that like what you said about advising people is really important, especially if you are starting a business and trying to understand what your local economy is, also opposed to what the national economy is. I feel like
Mhm.
just having that little bit of information can help you make a lot of smart, or at least educated business decisions, um, and could prevent failures of businesses. And so
Oh, absolutely. And I think economics is very people oriented. It's a people oriented science. A lot of people mistake it with, oh, it's about the study of the markets, which means money. But I always correct them. I actually think it's about people because without people, there would be no markets, there would be no money, there would be no need for GDP. And so understanding consumer trends is just a big part of it. And a lot of times it's local data is very important. And I think it just like gets ignored quite a bit. But a lot of these like big players, big giant, big conglomerates even pay a lot of money for localized data. And
wow,
so that's why I always want to keep track of like, hey, what's going on small levels? What does the trending for small business growth looks like? Because those things ultimately have a huge impact on GDP, on recession indicators, things like that.
sure. Okay. Well, on that note, without giving me too much of a free service, kind of give me an update on where we stand nationally, economically, and maybe in your area, just as an example.
Um, I don't think so. I think we all stand pretty we're on the same level as far as like different cities and states go right now.
Sure.
We're kind of like in the same hole, in the same well, just trying to make ends meet. And what kind of gets me concerned right now is the job market. That's pretty much stalled right now. So if you are looking for a job and you are in the white collar sector or you have experience in tech, it's kind of a shit show. And yeah, I mean, these people are getting screwed. And then these people are also pretty well educated, right? Like, if you're in a white collar, you at least minimum have a bachelor's or you have gotten your master's at some point. So then that whole American dream of like, just go down this path and be in some type of STEM related field or like a finance money field will get you success, climb the corporate ladder.
Of
And
course.
that dream's just kind of being bust because
Yeah.
now these companies are choosing to spend invest in AI. Like
Oh
I think
God, I know that's crazy.
yeah. Amazon, I think, has had 30,000 layoffs since October, which is massive.
That's
And
wild.
they didn't even try to say, oh, we had overhired since COVID. No, their reason was because we decided to heavily invest in AI with like around 100 billion of it. So
Jesus.
they're letting people know. They're not even hiding it. They're like, this is why you're getting fired, buddies. And once you're replaced, it's not like with a business expansion, you guys are going to be hired back.
Right, right, right. God, that's gnarly. Um,
And then I think local wise, like I think Oracle is one of the bigger layoffs of 2026. I think 30,000 people fired. And I think they had a center, they had one of their major offices in Kansas City. And so a lot of people got fired from that. I think around 10,000. I'd have to look that up. So people feel it. And
yeah.
then there a lot of them will not be able to find the equivalent job that they're looking for, so they will have to downgrade, find something that pays less, different benefits, different job positions. So I think in economics, that's they won't be considered as part of the unemployment numbers. But another thing that people don't consider is underemployment numbers, which
Oh,
underemployment means you have a job now, but that is not the job that matches your skill level. You basically your skill level is higher than the job you're doing.
so you're settling.
Exactly.
That's
Yeah.
wild. I mean, but I get it, everybody has bills, everybody needs money to survive. And
Mm-hmm.
so sometimes you kind of got to just take what you can get, which is very sad because a lot of these skills are useful. And if they're
Yeah.
not put to use, then who knows, 10 years down the line, they could not exist.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
crazy.
And I think everybody's just kind of monitoring the recession forecast right now and it's been ranging last year after Liberation Day with the tariff situation on April 2nd. Morgan Stanley had like a recession forecast of like 60% or something crazy. But I think that's gone down quite a bit. It's like probably 30% ish, which is still pretty high,
Yeah.
especially with the trajectory that we're going with the looming energy crisis.
Yeah.
And if you're basically engaged in a conflict, then that's like a that kind of throws off all the patterns and everybody's trust, because now you're just crashing into a situation
Sure.
that could change overnight.
Well, and we see it with gas prices every day. Like,
Hmm.
they haven't been what I would call steady for a while now. At least
Yeah,
since
isn't
the
it something crazy like $6, 6.50
oh
somewhere in
god.
California right now? Yeah, it's insane.
Yeah, I saw like seven something in South Central LA. It was like $7 or something like that. I'm like, how do you survive
Ugh,
on that? How does somebody
I
drive?
have no
Get
idea.
get a hybrid or a scooter because there ain't no driving other than that. That's crazy.
I know.
Okay, so we have a few minutes left here. I'd like you to
Yeah.
promote your business and your brand, and plug everything that you want to plug before we get out of here. Then I got a couple more questions for you, but let's get this out of the way.
Okay. Yeah, so of course, like if there's ever any need to talk to an economist, which is kind of like one of the standard services that my company offers at Vogue Economics, you can just go to my website. It's called vogueeconomics.com, and you can sign up with your choice of economists. So right now I'm part of it, but I have a couple of other peers as part of it too. Of course, we all range in our specialties and areas of interest, but then the underlying service is going to be the same. Like if you need any type of research analysis, help with data, or just dissecting market trends, either locally for your business or on a bigger national level, we're here to help.
Perfect. And tell me, put out your social medias and where other places people can contact you, follow you, see what you're doing, all that kind of stuff.
So I have very different personalities across different social media platforms, but I think that it keeps it interesting. So
Absolutely.
I have my business page, Vogue Economics, and so that is going to be more educational, very economics oriented, but then also you can keep up with current events on there too. And I plan on making more videos more consistently as well. A lot of my newer videos that are coming up are going to be about the countries that I travel to, the cities that I travel to as
Cool.
well. And so it's part of my business, and my brand is not being secluded to just US markets, to
Awesome.
global markets.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
I love learning about different people, different cultures, and
Absolutely.
it's just keep it fun. Sometimes economics
100%.
can be very unapproachable and stuffy, so I want to make it fun and approachable.
Cool. And Vogue Economics on what platforms?
Oh yeah, so Vogue Economics on Instagram, and then I have a YouTube channel as well. Right
Okay.
now there's just shorts on there, but I plan on doing more longer format videos
Well, real
eventually in the
quick,
future.
if I
Yes.
can, as a long form content creator, starting off with the shorts was the smart move because that's
Oh
where,
really?
with our society's 30-second attention span,
Oh, I
that's
know.
that's how you suck them in. Like if you don't get people's attention in the first 2 seconds, they're swiping. Like that's it. Like you have to have something
Exactly.
immediately that
You
attracts
have
their
to have an
attention.
airtight hook that's almost
Right.
clickbait like, and I
Exactly.
hate it.
Yeah, me too. But that's how you draw them in, and once you get them
Hmm.
as a regular patron, if you want to call it that, then they
Yeah.
will start exploring your long form content. Now you might not get a lot of views at first, but eventually with
Hmm.
your especially you being sort of influencer level, I'd call you. You have a lot of
Hmm.
followers, and that is going to bring people back to watch that long form content. So that's very cool. What is that channel?
Yeah. Say that again,
What
last part.
what is the channel? What is the title of your channel?
Oh, it's called Vogue Economics. I
Okay,
keep it
cool.
real
Cool, cool.
simple for you to find me. So that's also Vogue Economics. I have a Substack as well, and I plan on publishing more as I work on a couple of different white papers too with my peers and colleagues.
Cool.
And then, of course, my main Instagram is Shiona, not Fiona, because I get called Fiona quite a bit.
I figured it's really clever
Yes,
though. That's how I knew how to pronounce your name. It's very
I
clever.
know.
Um,
And it's been the same for like almost 8 years now. So
and you're also on Threads, obviously, and
I'm on
Facebook.
Threads as well under Shiona, not Fiona, so the same name.
Okay. Any other platforms you push hard for?
No, I never bought into the TikTok hype. I just
Me either.
couldn't understand the whole thing and just the whole doom scrolling. And then,
Right.
of course, it was owned by ByteDance, a Chinese company, and I was like,
Right.
really
Same.
skeptical putting that app. And it's
100%.
compromised now still by the U.S. government.
Right.
So,
Wow. You just took everything out of my brain and said it.
oh, cool.
That's exactly why I never once signed on to it. I never,
No, me
people send
neither.
me TikToks and I'm like, nope, erase.
It'll be on Instagram Reels like 2 weeks
It
later,
sure will.
anyway.
That's
So,
right. Okay, so tell me real quick, what's your plan long term as far as personal goals and business goals for the next 10 years?
yeah, expanding my business, I would say publishing my books right now. So my first book will come out end of this year, and
Very
just
cool.
getting out there and making people pay attention to economics and trying to trying to normalize talking about these big political events through the lens of economics, which is where you cannot really sensationalize data, right? So then talk about things in a very empirical sense, but that's also easy to digest. So
Sure.
I want to make these type of conversations mainstream
Awesome.
without, and I also want people from all different ideologies to be able to have a logical conversation.
That's awesome. And as far as goals for your personal life, what are you looking at there?
Yeah, I mean, good question. I feel like I'm pretty fiscally responsible, but this economy is just throwing everything and everyone for a whirlwind, a shock. I had
Sure.
not logged into my 401k in like the last couple weeks. Just like I don't want to see what's going on right now.
Yeah, that's understandable.
But
But
yeah, I mean, I have I have plans to just babysit a couple of investment projects that I started like a year or two ago with my husband. So
cool.
really excited about that. See how
Good.
that turns out. It's going to be on a different branch than just Vogue economics, so it's not related to economics. It's just more tangible things.
Okay.
So managing that and just trying to keep my head above the water.
And travel.
But then, yeah, and also, of course, travel
Can't
right
forget
now.
travel.
Absolutely. I don't even think about traveling as visiting different countries. I always think about travel as visiting different cities, because sometimes when you go to multiple different cities in one country, they have completely different cultures. Just
Oh
like there's a
yeah.
big difference between Kyoto and Tokyo.
Yeah,
Didn't even feel like the same country at
at
times.
all. Yeah.
So
Kyoto
I
is
really want to visit
beautiful.
like all the major cities in the world.
That's awesome. That's a great goal. I love it. We're
Yeah.
trying to do the same little by little. Um, after this
How
year,
many countries have you guys visited?
of I think 7 or 8 now. Um,
Okay. But then
but
you have the travel bug now. I can
oh,
just tell.
100%. Yeah. We via that Virgin cruise in Greece, we met people from Australia, a lot of people in the UK, and who we're still in contact with today. So, Australia is
Yes.
going to be one of our next trips. Go check out the Gold Coast and
Oh, hell
Sydney and all
yes.
that. So, really excited for
Yeah.
that.
Awesome food. I love the food in Australia. You have
Food.
to try kangaroo meat, by the way.
We're vegetarian.
Oh, I forgot. Never mind that.
Interesting though. Interesting take. I'll take it. Okay, so the last thing I wanted to touch on before we get out of here is you tricked me really well with your friend who looks like Taylor Swift. tell me tell me about that. What is that all about?
You and a lot of people. So so that's actually my friend Kelly, and she is a crazy close lookalike, a complete doppelganger of Taylor Swift.
Yeah, for
And
sure.
so she's very well known in Kansas City, but
That's
like
cool.
when she steps out or goes to like a Chiefs game or something, people lose their minds. Like they'll stop her and they're like, "Oh my god!" Like
That's so
they
cool.
will fall to the ground because they think she's her, and she's great at her like winged eyeliner makeup, red lips, and the same hair highlights as Taylor Swift too.
Sure.
So it's really cool.
So I assume you guys are Swifties.
You kind of have to be, I mean,
100%.
she gets a lot of hate on threads. They're like, eat the rich, hate all billionaires, but I actually think she's pretty sweet. So
Well, absolutely, and I want to touch on that because she doesn't have $1 billion. It's not like she's walking around with billions of dollars in her pocket. Like it's all tied up in her catalog, so it's not like she can't just go and pull that out and be like, "Hey, I got billions." And
right,
not
and
to mention
I just
she's a good person and does good things.
yeah, I mean, I haven't really seen her do anything awful, so I
Sure,
just there's just no reason to like for me to hate her.
right.
You know, like there's plenty of reasons. There's a trillion reasons for me to hate Elon Musk.
Oh yeah,
Um, he doesn't make it easy to be liked at all.
for
But yeah, I
sure.
mean, she just never got on my nerves like any of the other
We went
rich
to
people.
her the Eras tour in Vancouver. It was the second to the last show. It was freaking awesome, and I became a Swiftie via that. Um,
Oh, nice.
so you being in Kansas, you're close to the whole um,
Missouri, yeah.
Travis. Are you a Kelsey fan? Are you a football fan at all?
You have to be like you to
Really?
be to live in Kansas City. You kind of have to become a Chiefs fan. You don't really get a choice.
I have family who lives in Branson, so yeah, they're hardcore.
Yeah, I know. I love the sports culture in Kansas City.
That's wild. I'm not at all a sports guy. Like I like nerdy stuff, and it
Hmm.
goes way below the sports threshold. So, but
I mean, yeah, same, pretty much the same.
okay, well, this has been a lot of fun, and I just want to thank you again for taking a chance, giving me your being so generous with your time for an unknown
Yeah,
podcast, and it was really cool of you to explain all that economic stuff to me. Very
yeah. No,
cool.
it was fun. It was fun for me too. It was a real pleasure talking to you too
Absolutely,
on a
likewise.
range of topics.
Yeah. And I love following you on Threads. Anybody out there, if you have a Threads account or don't, go give it a try. It's really cool. You can cater that algorithm to your taste and follow good people and find them. The
Hmm.
present company is an example. So um, yeah, this has
I
been another
agree.
episode, everybody. Thank you for coming back. Please go and support Shiona and all of her ventures, and follow her social medias if you want to be entertained with some beautiful pictures. And yeah, thank you again. And we'll have to do another episode down the line when hopefully our economy recovers and improves.
Maybe after 3 years.
I hope it doesn't take that long. Don't put us in that boat. All right. Well, thank you again. I appreciate it. It was very nice to meet you, and you have a great day.
Yeah, thanks. Take care.
You too. Bye bye.
Bye.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
I can
Yes.
hear you. Cool.
Okay.
Good.
Great.
Okay. I'm probably sideways on your screen, right?
You are. Yes, you
Okay.
are.
Are you on your computer?
I am I am not. I'm trying to, but somehow my
It's actually better on your phone. Your phone works. Is that? I'm
okay.
assuming what your screen is.
Yeah, this is my phone.
Cool. Can you just switch it to landscape for me?
Yes.
There we go.